Hello fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime and it is time to brawl. It's also time for us to be talking about the 10 best star powers in Brawl Stars that you will want to prioritize unlocking as soon as possible, or make sure you're using if you've already happened to unlock them. Obviously, all 78 star powers currently in Brawl Stars have their place in the game, at least sometime. But the 10 star powers in this video specifically greatly improve a brawler's ability when compared to their level 9 state. This means that the star powers we're talking about have nothing to do with how strong a specific brawler is right now. Instead, we're focusing on just the raw strength and utility of the star powers themselves. Talking about raw strength, I am in awe of the raw strength of the support from today's video sponsor. I wanted to give a huge thank you to PUBG Mobile for sponsoring this video. PUBG Mobile recently released a revamped version of their payload mode with some all new improvements. The goal is to take the base and find brand new super weapon crates to gain heavy weaponry and new powerful items like laser guided missiles, 4-barreled rocket launchers, man portable radars, and more. Payload 2.0 is also coming with fully armed vehicles, including an armed helicopter that will provide massive firepower for your squad. Additionally, the advanced communication towers allow players to recall defeated teammates, which can greatly turn the tide of battle. PUBG Mobile is hosting a Payload 2.0 live event on October 19th at 6 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you tune in at the link below for a chance to win some prizes. And if you haven't downloaded the game already, click the link below because you guys got to check it out. Once again, a huge thank you to PUBG Mobile for sponsoring this video. Now let's talk about the top 10 star powers in Brawl Stars. Number 10, Bo's Snare-A-Bear star power. Bo snared a top 10 spot with this incredibly lethal 2-second stun. This leaves enemies completely vulnerable to a bombardment of ally fire, including up to 3 full shots from Bo, which is insta-death for most brawlers. This star power paired with the guaranteed trips of Bo's tripwire gadget means that this star power would easily make the top 5, but remember, we're only looking at the star powers individually for this video. Also, sometimes not having Snare-A-Bear is actually more beneficial because it means the enemies will actually bounce into multiple mines, which is kind of a trade-off. That's why it's only 10, but 10 out of 78 is pretty fantastic if you ask me. Number 9, Frank's Sponge star power. Now, sponges are normally pretty squishy, but there is nothing squishy about this star power. A whopping 1,100 additional health is no joke, especially when added to what is already the tankiest brawler in the game. With this star power equipped, Frank becomes the only brawler to exceed 10,000 health, which is actually 20% more tanky than El Primo, the second tankiest brawler in the game. And unlike other brawlers, this star power is permanently relevant all of the time because it doesn't require an attack or a super or some other special condition in order for this effect to happen. Because of this, Frank is able to consistently maintain himself on the field as a threat and of course land some stunning supers with greater success. Only one other star power compares to this one, but you're gonna have to wait for number 2 to find out what that is. Number 8, Poco's to Capo star power. In case you thought it could not get any tankier, it just did. With Poco's song offering a portable 700 heal per strum, unloading Poco's ammunition adds an extra 2,100 health to his allies. If both allies cross its path, that is a whopping 4,200 health. Top this off with Poco's naturally healing super and gadget, and Poco becomes the ultimate support brawler. In fact, many people consider the Poco double tank comp to be one of the most toxic in the game simply because this star power is so strong. By staying behind his teammates, Poco's not only able to dish out heals, but also respectable damage while staying safe from enemy fire. Strum on, Poco. Strum on. Coming in number 7 is Rosa's Thorny Gloves star power. You're not going to want to mess with this bad botanist when she's sporting her Thorny Gloves. With an extra 220 damage per punch, Rosa benefits from 660 extra damage per ammo while she's in her shield mode. This means that the 3 sets of punches that she's able to dish out before her shield drops, Rosa deals around 2,000 extra damage, totaling an incredible 7,776 damage, and that is over what she would be able to pump out with 4 normal sets of punches. To top it off, after 3 sets of punches, she's also able to have another super ready to go, which is kind of like a permanent increase to her damage. This little extra oomph to her shots means that she's better equipped to take on damage space modes like Heist or Siege, as well as other tanky brawlers that are built for melee combat up close. In fact, thanks to her sharp knuckles, she's able to 3-shot tanks like Bull, 8-Bit, Daryl, Carl, Jackie, and Pam, all while also remaining practically invincible herself. If you're not convinced yet, a 4th round of normal punches lets her take out every single brawler in the game, except for Frank with his sponge star power. With just 2 attacks, she has enough firepower with this star power to take out over 60% of the brawlers in the game. It adds an insane amount of raw strength to her, but she's still not able to compete against the number 3 star power, which we'll be talking about later in this video. Up next is number 6, Colette with her Push It star power. Without any other knockback abilities, Push It offers a lot of utility to Colette, ranging from the ability to interrupt enemy supers to enabling her to coordinate an ambush attack with her fellow allies. It also grants Colette a lot more viability in modes like Brawl Ball, where she's better able to defend against goals through her knockback, or even create goal opportunities simply by shoving enemies out of the way. But that isn't even the best part. With her super already dealing a taxing 20% damage to the enemy's health, Push It almost guarantees that Colette's super will deal double damage, which also greatly helps her recharge her super. This effectively allows Colette to deal 40% damage with one super, which is about an average of 2,000 damage depending on who she's actually attacking. Now, when comparing her Push It star power to her Mass Tack star power, Push It is definitely more versatile and stronger by a long shot. No star power quite pushes it like this one pushes it. Okay, I'll move on. We are halfway to number 1 with number 5, Mortis's Coiled Snake star power. You either love him or you hate him. We've got Mortis to talk about. Honestly, Mortis without his Coiled Snake is kind of like a fish out of water. Kind of feels like a Brawl Stars shop without code Kairos in it. It just doesn't make sense. K-A-I-R-O-S, code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. The best way to unlock the best star powers. For real though, Mortis just does not work as well without his Coiled Snake star power. Being the only brawler that has maneuverability with his attack, Mortis's attack mechanics make him very vulnerable. But with Coiled Snake, he's able to initiate his attacks from further away with less exposure to enemy fire and no need to use his attacks in order for him to actually get close to an enemy brawler. And sometimes it's just really great at helping Mortis get away and provides Mortis with more flexibility when it comes to snatching bolts, gems, stars, or brawl balls. If you play Mortis in Brawl Ball, that is. The added side effect of this star power is that brawlers have to stay much further away from Mortis, which allows them to control the map a lot better than without it. This star power completely changes how Mortis is played and is a must buy if you want to improve your Mortis gameplay. But no matter how much better Mortis becomes with this star power, it still doesn't compete against the number 1, which we'll talk about later. Coming in number 4, Sandy's Rude Sand star power. If you've been sleeping on this one, guys, you need to wake up because this is so good. Despite some of the nerfs that the star power had when it was first released, Rude Sand still remains as one of the most respected star powers in the game. 100 damage per second doesn't sound like a lot, but the fact that it covers such a massive area means that enemies have to be really careful about going inside the storm. From stopping healing to exposing enemies hiding in bushes, it provides a lot of benefits that truly make it one of the strongest star powers in the game. Sandy's super lasts for 9 seconds, which is long enough for this star power to really impact things a lot. I mean, talk about rude sands. Next, we have number 3, Max's Run and Gun star power. Running away with 3rd place is none other than the speed star Max, whose Run and Gun star power makes her practically immune to ammunition depletion. That's because her quick feet fuel her own juice, making it rain bullets. With more ammunition available, Max is less required to conserve it and can dish out more attacks than most brawlers in the game. More reload speed means more shots, which means more damage, which means more super recharge, which means more speed, which means more reload. You guys get the idea. The cycle continues in a positive feedback loop, which pretty much just continues going until everybody else is dead. Max's supercharged star power is nice as well, but the extra damage from her Run and Gun star power is hard to beat. Still, the last 2 star powers do exactly that. Coming in number 2 is Jackie's Hardy Hard Hat star power. Honestly, it wasn't a hard choice to have Jackie slam in our number 2 spot because this star power is strong. This star power shields her from 15% of all damage, which means that Jackie effectively receives a 1,235 extra health buff as an added bonus of making her math really hard for the enemy team and not understanding how many shots are actually required to take her out. And just like Frank, Jackie doesn't require any special conditions to benefit from her star power, which grants her consistent extra buffs the entire match. That's going to result in less deaths, which means that Jackie's going to be able to control the field much more consistently. But unlike Frank, Jackie has a greater need to get really up and close and personal to enemy brawlers, so this extra added bulk is really important for those 1v1 situations when you're playing with Jackie. To top it all off, her counter crush star power honestly just isn't very good because of how short its range actually is. So Hardy Hard Hat is absolutely a no-brainer. And it's a no-brainer because you don't have to think about using it, but still, it's not quite as good as the #1 star power. Now, before we reveal the #1 star power, I wanted to quickly mention some star powers that I heavily considered for this top 10, but that just didn't quite make the cut. First is Mr. P's revolving door, which spawns Robo Porters 3 seconds faster, Carl's power throw, which increases his attack speed by 15%, and 8-Bits plugged in, which increases his movement speed when he's close to his turret. These star powers are really good at utilizing their strengths and covering their weaknesses, but I could only pick 10 star powers for this video, which brings me onto the final star power on the list. The #1 star power in the game, Leon's Invisiheal star power. If you didn't see this one coming, it's because Leon was invisible, because, well, it's Invisiheal. Seriously though, if you have not invested in Invisiheal or are still using his smoke trail star power, you need to get with the KairosTimes, guys. Now, to be fair, Leon has 2 really great star powers, but no star power compares to the sheer unique utility of Leon's legendary Invisiheal, which is exactly why it's #1. It allows Leon to make some really clutch escapes and allows him to turn them around into aggressive ambushes, which absolutely justifies the star power's #1 position. For Leon, it completely changes the way that he's played, allowing him to go invisible mid-combat, heal up, buy himself some time to load more ammunition, and finish off his target Leaf Shuriken style. Kagebushi no Jutsu! You're dead. With enough juice to heal himself 1 1/3 times over his maximum health and an impressive 1000 healing per second. Lucky shots against him while he's invisible are basically easy for him to just ignore, since he'll just keep on healing, and he's gonna keep on healing a lot. Leon's already really fantastic in 1v1 situations, but this star power provides his super with a 2-in-1 value, a powerful invisible part and a devastating healing part. And to top it off, after 3 seconds of being invisible, as long as he doesn't take damage, Leon begins to heal naturally, only increasing the extent of his healing. Compared to his smoke trail star power, which only increases his speed, like every other speed boosting star power, Invisiheal not only weighs out as the champion between the two, but the champion of all star powers in Brawl Stars. And there you have it. Out of the 78 star powers in the game, these 10 remain supreme. I want to know what you guys thought about this top 10 list. Are you ticked that Tick didn't make it, or jacked up that Jackie did? Maybe it was music to your ears that Poco made the cut, but you can't believe that B or BB didn't. Was there something that I missed or a different star power that you think really deserves #1? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Make sure you subscribe for more. Use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. I can't stop laughing about that stupid joke. And for now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.